Sarah, what are you doing? The funeral's over. I'm thanking everyone who came to the funeral. You're still greeting people? Most of them have already left. There are still a few guests sharing memories of your husband. I think it's important to acknowledge them. That's unnecessary. We have more important things to deal with. What could be more important right now? We just laid your husband to rest. Practical matters don't stop for grief. There are arrangements to be made. The funeral is over, so what else needs to be done? The house, finances, belongings. I can help with that over the next few days. We're all tired today. Obviously, we need to talk about what happens next with living arrangements. I don't understand. Nothing has to change immediately. I want to end our relationship. What? Our living arrangement. It's time for it to end. You want me to move out? You've only been here because of my husband. He is dead. I want you to leave ASAP. Wait a minute. This is James's home too. We're married. We live here together. James can stay, of course. He's my son. You're the one who needs to go. Why? You were only kept in this house as my husband's caregiver. Is that really how you see me? What else would you be? You moved in when he got sick, and now he's gone. I moved in because James and I got married. You were convenient to have around for that purpose, nothing more. Wow, I always knew you were cold towards me, but I never expected you to say something like this. I was practical. I tolerated your presence because you served a purpose. Tolerated? I've been a part of this family for over a decade. Why are you so angry? Did you seriously think you could continue living in our house? Of course! I'm your son's wife. This is our home too. This has always been my house. You were just a guest with an extended stay. I never considered you family. There's no point keeping a stranger in my home. A stranger? How can you say that after all this time? Time doesn't make you family. You were always just the help. I've been a part of this family for years. I've been caring for your husband for 10 years. And now that he's gone, you're kicking me out? Yes, your services are no longer required. I wasn't providing services. I was caring for my father-in-law because I loved him. Don't be dramatic. You did what was expected of you. You were just the caregiver. My husband is gone, so divorce my son and get out. Divorce James? No way! Why not? Your purpose here is fulfilled. Our marriage has nothing to do with me taking care of his father. James and I love each other. James only sees you as a housekeeper. You don't know anything about our relationship. I know my son. He needed someone to care for his father, and you fit the role. That's not true. Has he ever said he loves you? Really said it like he means it? Every day. Your self-esteem is ridiculously high. My son is an executive at a major financial firm. Someone like him wouldn't seriously marry someone like you. What's that supposed to mean? You know exactly what I mean. You have no career, no education, no family connections. What could you possibly offer him? I offer him love, support, and partnership. That's what marriage is about. In the real world, marriage is about suitable matches. But we are married. That's because he needed a housekeeper. Maybe if you were beautiful and capable like Mia, but not you. So that's what this is about. You're comparing me to her again. There's no comparison. Mia is everything a daughter-in-law should be. You've always favored Mia, haven't you? Of course. I was so happy when such a wonderful woman married Kevin. I genuinely wanted to live with Mia. Having someone like you as my son's wife has been embarrassing in front of the neighbors. You're concerned about what they think? Of course. And you've been a stain on our family's reputation. That's not true. It is. You might not have noticed because you've been living in your own little bubble. The neighbors have always been kind to me. Several of them attended the funeral. They were just being polite. It's reality. I'm just being honest with you now that there's no reason to pretend anymore. I never knew you harbored such resentment toward me. Now you know. Anyway, our relationship ends here, so you don't need to come back. Go to the courthouse and get divorce papers now. I need to talk to James about this. He'll agree with me. Why wouldn't he? James isn't like you. He doesn't see people as tools to be used and discarded. We'll see about that. You'll see I'm right. James, where are you?
I'm talking with my uncle. We're reminiscing about Dad.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Is it a good time to talk?
We're just sharing some old stories. What's going on? Are you okay?
Not really. Can we text privately for a moment?
Of course. Is something wrong?
I've been taking care of your dad for so long.
I know. Dad meant so much to both of us.
Every day for 10 years, I had a purpose to make his life better.
I'm sorry for putting all that burden on you.
Don't apologize.
But you gave up so much, your career plans, your free time, everything.
It's okay. You were busy with work and I wasn't doing anything else.
That's not true. You had your own dreams before Dad got sick.
Taking care of him became my new dream.
Dad was so grateful to you. Even right before he passed, he was trying to express his gratitude to you.
He did?
Yes. When I was alone with him that last day, he squeezed my hand and whispered your name. Then he said, "Thank you," so clearly.
That's all I needed to hear. I just wish we had more time to make memories together.
He knew how much you cared. That meant everything to him.
I hope so. I tried to make every day count.
I feel the same way. So why did you text?
Your mom just contacted me. She told me to get out.
What?
Right after the funeral, she texted me and told me to leave the house.
Are you serious?
Yes, just now. She said my purpose in this house is over. She said I was only kept in the house as a caregiver. Now that that role is over, she wants me gone.
That's absurd! How could she say something like that?
She was very clear about it. She said she never considered me family. I was shocked too. She even told me to divorce you. She said you only married me because you needed someone to take care of your father. That now his care is over, our marriage should end too.
That's ridiculous.
I know it's not true, but hearing her say those things still hurt.
I'm so sorry, Sarah. I knew my mother was cold, but this is beyond what I expected.
I wasn't sure what to do, so I texted you.
You're my wife. This is our home together. She has no right to tell you to leave. You know what we should do?
Move out?
Yes, I just stayed for Dad's sake. Now there's no reason to put up with her behavior anymore.
Can I have one more conversation with your mom first?
Why would you want that?
I just need closure.
It won't help. Nothing gets through to her.
This is for me. I need to stand up for myself one last time.
That's fine. Call me right after you talk to her, okay? I want to make sure you're all right.
I will. I love you.
Love you too.
Eleanor, can we talk? Are you going to beg me to let you stay? I'm not here to beg. I want to understand something that's bothered me for years. Just pack your things and go. Why have you always hated me so much? I simply find you unsuitable. That's not true. You've actively tried to make me feel unwelcome. What was your problem with me? You want honesty? Fine. Yes, after 10 years, I deserve at least that much. Isn't it obvious? My problem was that you were my eldest son's wife. What's wrong with me being his wife? Everything! Look at you. No ambition, no family connections, no special talents. What could you possibly offer my son? I offered him love and support. I took care of his father when no one else could. Both my sons graduated from top universities and work for prestigious companies. Sons like that deserve suitable wives. Is that all you think a wife should be? A wife should enhance her husband's status, not diminish it. You've never understood that. Why are you so obsessed with that? So I can brag to the neighbors, of course. Are you serious? Completely. Do you know how embarrassing it's been to introduce you as my daughter-in-law? People always look confused, wondering what James saw in you. I don't believe that. People have always been kind to me. To your face, perhaps. Behind your back, they pity James. At the very least, you could handle the housework and care for my husband. That's the only reason I agreed to live with you, but I'm glad you'll finally be gone. 2 embarrassments leaving at once.
2? Who's the other one?
My husband, of course.
What? Your husband just died!
Which means I can finally speak the truth. He was never what I wanted in a husband. I wanted someone ambitious, someone who would rise to the top. Instead, I got a man content with mediocrity. Thankfully, my sons turned out successful, but I wanted to leave that man long ago. Instead, he got sick and became bedridden. He was nothing but trouble from beginning to end.
I can't believe what I'm hearing. He devoted his life to you and this family.
Devotion doesn't equal success. He was weak, settling for an ordinary life.
Don't talk about him like that. He did everything he could for this family. His health issues weren't his fault.
Of course they were. If he had taken better care of himself, he wouldn't have deteriorated so quickly.
That's cruel. No one chooses to become ill.
Life is cruel. I'm simply acknowledging reality.
He was a kind, loving man who adored you despite how you treated him. Do you really think James will stay here with you after how you've treated me? After what you've said about his father?
Of course he will. Blood is thicker than water. You'll realize I was right all along.
You don't know your son at all if you believe that.
I raised him. I know him better than anyone.
So that's how you truly feel?
Yes. Any objections?
No, I have no objections. It's clearly impossible for us to understand each other.
Finally, you understand something.
I understand that you are a bitter woman who values appearances over genuine connections.
So, you'll leave then?
Yes, I will.
See, I knew you'd give up eventually.
I'm not giving up. I'm choosing to remove myself from a toxic situation.
Call it whatever you want. Just get out of my house. Pack your things and get out of my house immediately.
I can't leave immediately, but I'll stay only until I'm ready to move.
And how long will that take? I want you gone by tomorrow.
That's not reasonable, and you know it. I need time to find a new place.
Fine, you have 1 month.
That seems fair. I'll start looking right away.
The sooner the better. I want to reclaim my home.
Understood. I'll be moving to the high-rise.
What?
The luxury apartments across the street. That's where I'll be moving.
You're lying. You could never afford a place like that.
I've already spoken with the leasing office.
Impossible. Those apartments cost a fortune. You're bluffing to save face.
Believe what you want. You'll see soon enough.
This conversation is over. I never want to see you again.
The feeling is mutual, Eleanor.
You really moved into the high-rise?
Hello to you too, Eleanor. How did you get my new number? I blocked your old one.
James gave it to me. Answer my question.
How did you know?
It's right across from here. I can see you coming and going.
You've been watching me?
I happened to notice you entering that building several times. At first, I thought you were visiting someone.
Nope, I live there now. Top floor, corner unit with the balcony.
That's impossible. Those units cost a fortune. There's no way you could afford a place like that.
Why does it matter to you where I live?
Because it makes no sense. You can't just move into the most expensive building in town.
And yet, that's exactly what I did. We actually have a solid income source, so we can afford to live here.
Stop talking in riddles. What income source?
I'm surprised you never asked yourself where your husband's money went.
What? He didn't leave anything except this house.
That's what you thought, but your husband was much smarter with money than you gave him credit for.
What are you implying?
I inherited your husband's estate.
What? He didn't have an estate. He had a modest pension and this house, that's all.
No, he had been saving money since he was working.
Savings? What savings? We never had much left after expenses.
That's because he was putting money aside without telling you. He knew you'd spend it on appearances. He put away a little each month from his very first paycheck. He called it his security fund.
That's ridiculous. I managed all our finances. I would have known.
He had a separate account you didn't know about. He opened it before you were married and kept it his whole life.
How much money are we talking about?
He was saving for emergencies. After he got sick, he invested that money to grow it.
Invested? My husband didn't know the first thing about investments.
Again, you underestimated him. He was quite savvy with money. After he became immobile, I managed the investments for him. It grew to quite a substantial amount. He gifted it all to me while he was still alive.
What? That's ridiculous. Why would an outsider like you get that money? Inheritance belongs to the family.
I was family to him. I was the one sitting by his bedside every day, reading to him, helping him with physical therapy, making sure he took his medications.
That was your duty as his caretaker. It doesn't entitle you to his money.
That's not true. There are rules that caregivers are entitled to inheritance too. I cared for him for 10 years, so I received a fair amount.
You're lying. So you really got that money?
Yes, every penny of it. He wanted me to have it as a thank you for the years of care.
How much are we talking about?
Enough to live comfortably in the high-rise for many years to come.
This can't be right.
It is right. It's what your husband wanted.
You must have manipulated him when he was vulnerable. He would never have chosen you over me. That money was meant for me.
The money was his to give to whomever he wanted, and he chose me.
You're lying. You manipulated my husband to steal his inheritance. Even if I let this slide, James won't.
James already knows. He's the one who helped set up the arrangements.
Impossible! He wouldn't betray me like that. I'm going to tell James about this right now. We'll sue you, so be prepared.
Go ahead. The paperwork is all in order, but you're making a huge mistake.
You'll regret this, Sarah.
No, Eleanor, you'll regret how you've treated me and your husband all these years.
James, something terrible has happened.
What is it now?
You won't believe what your wife has done. She's betrayed this entire family.
Mom, calm down. What are you talking about?
Did you know she moved into that expensive high-rise across the street?
Yes, of course I knew. I helped her move.
How could you support this? Do you know how she afforded it? Sarah has taken all of your father's inheritance. You and Kevin should discuss this and sue her.
Sue Sarah? For what exactly?
For stealing your father's money. Money that should have gone to you and your brother. Or at least to me. She claims your father left her money, enough to afford that luxury apartment. It might be hard to believe, but it's true. Sarah used that money to move into the high-rise across the street. This can't be allowed.
There's nothing to allow. Dad made his wishes clear.
You can't be serious. You're just going to let her take everything?
You've got it wrong. Kevin and I both knew about Sarah's inheritance, so there's no reason to sue.
What? You knew?
Of course. Did you think Dad would make such an important decision without discussing it with me?
But why would he leave everything to her? She's not even family.
Dad talked to us about the inheritance before he passed. He explained the concept of contribution credits.
Contribution credits?
It's a legal concept that recognizes the value of caregiving. Sarah devoted a decade of her life to caring for Dad.
That was her duty as his daughter-in-law.
It wasn't her duty. It was an act of love and compassion, something you wouldn't understand.
But for her to take so much money...
Did you ever once ask how much Dad had saved? Did you ever show any interest in his finances?
I didn't think he had anything worth asking about.
That's exactly the problem. You underestimated him in every way. Dad was much smarter with money than you. He started investing in his 30s and never stopped.
And he never told me?
He tried to, many times. You always dismissed him, saying finance was boring. Dad talked to us about the inheritance before he passed. Do you realize how much Sarah did for Dad? By the way, Kevin and I both waived our inheritance rights so Sarah could receive everything.
You did what?
We signed legal documents giving up our claims to Dad's estate.
Why would you do something so reckless?
Because Sarah deserved it. She gave up her career, her freedom, her youth to care for Dad. Money doesn't begin to repay that debt.
That doesn't entitle her to everything.
Both of us are grateful to Sarah for taking care of Dad. It's only natural.
Natural? There is nothing natural about this.
Dad left you the house. That was his choice.
The house? That's nothing compared to what she got.
The house is worth considerable money. If you're unhappy with it, you could always sell it.
And you're just fine with that? Your own father's money going to an outsider?
Sarah is not an outsider. She's my wife and the person who made Dad's final years bearable.
It's embarrassing to be played by a woman like her. Taking care of someone is just expected. She didn't deserve any money for it.
No one expected Sarah to devote a decade of her life to caring for Dad. That was her choice, made out of love.
Love? She did it to ingratiate herself with your father, knowing he had money hidden away.
So that's really what you thought.
Of course, I've always thought marrying her was a mistake. I'll choose your next wife for you, so don't interfere.
My next wife? What are you talking about?
Well, obviously you'll divorce Sarah now that you know what she's done.
Why would I divorce the woman I love? The woman who stood by my father when his own wife abandoned him.
I didn't abandon him.
You couldn't even be bothered to sit with him for an hour each day. You were too busy with your committees and social events. Don't be ridiculous. Sarah is the only wife for me. I would never divorce her.
But I told her to divorce you.
And you thought she'd listen to you after how you've treated her all these years?
I thought she'd see reason once I explained things clearly.
The only thing clear to me is how little you understand about love and loyalty. She has no reason to listen to you. And by the way, I'm moving into the high-rise with her.
What?
I'm moving in with my wife. We're starting fresh, away from this house and its painful memories.
What do you mean? You're leaving the house?
That's right. I would have preferred somewhere else, but Dad rented a workspace there a while back. We were unsure whether to cancel it, but since it's something Dad left behind, we decided to live there together.
But you're my son. You can't just abandon me.
I've been fed up with you for a long time.
What have I ever done except love you and want the best for you?
You've smothered me, criticized my choices, and treated my wife with contempt. You've been treating my precious Sarah coldly. I wanted to leave this house immediately, but Sarah stopped me.
Sarah stopped you?
She's always been more concerned about your welfare than you deserved.
Sarah really did that?
Yes, she said your health was declining and it would be pitiful to leave you alone. After Dad became bedridden, she was determined to care for him until the end, so she refused to leave. During that time, she was trying to improve her relationship with you, but you continue to disrespect her. I can't consider someone like you my parent anymore.
I'm still your mother.
A mother who's shown nothing but contempt for the woman I love?
I was just looking out for your best interests.
No, you were looking out for your own interests. We're cutting ties. I'm never coming back to this house.
You can't be serious.
This is your doing, Mom. You pushed away the people who cared about you most.
That can't be true. How am I supposed to live here by myself?
Figure it out on your own. It's not our concern anymore.
Please don't leave me alone.
You made your choice when you tried to drive Sarah away. Now you'll have to live with the consequences. Mom, we need to talk.
Well, after abandoning me, you're finally calling?
I just moved out of your house. There's a difference.
It's been 2 weeks and not even a visit. That's abandonment.
Have you considered that your behavior might be why no one wants to visit?
I've done nothing wrong. I'm the victim here.
This happened because you tried to kick Sarah out. Don't try to make us the bad guys.
She was just the caregiver. Her job was done.
She is my wife. How many times do I have to say this before you understand?
Fine. I've accepted that you chose her over your own mother.
I didn't choose anyone. You forced this situation by trying to make Sarah leave.
I have nothing to say to you. I'm going to have Kevin and Mia move in with me, and we'll be a happy family without you.
Is that why you've been calling Kevin 10 times a day?
I've been discussing living arrangements with him.
That's actually why I'm calling. Stop bothering Kevin and his wife.
Bothering them? I'm offering them a beautiful home rent-free. How is that bothering them?
They live 3 hours away. Kevin's job is there. Their friends are there. Their life is there. Kevin has been telling me that you keep contacting them, trying to get them to move back.
We've been having pleasant conversations about family matters.
That's not what Kevin says. He says you call at all hours, often waking their baby.
A few late calls, perhaps. It's not a big deal.
Didn't Kevin already refuse?
Not in those exact words.
What did he say when you asked him to move in with you?
He said it would be difficult right now with his current work situation.
That's a polite refusal, Mom. He's trying to spare your feelings. But it's obviously impossible. Kevin's job is too far from the house for a commute. It's simply not feasible, yet you keep contacting them. Mia says she can't stand hearing your voice anymore. Why are you pushing them to this point?
Mia said that about me, but we've always been so close.
Not according to Mia. She says you've always compared her to Sarah, using her to put Sarah down.
I was complimenting Mia.
By insulting Sarah, that's not a compliment, it's manipulation.
That wasn't my intention.
Intentions don't matter if the effect is harmful. Kevin and Mia have their own lives.
But I'm lonely. Is it so wrong to want my family around me?
If you hadn't driven us away, you wouldn't be in this situation.
You're blaming me again. How is this my fault?
Whether it was or not, stop contacting them. If you care about Kevin, try to understand his position. You must realize living together is impossible.
He could find a job here. There are plenty of opportunities.
That's not your decision to make. Kevin is happy in his current position.
Don't be ridiculous. I'm lonely.
Your loneliness is not Kevin's responsibility. Find friends your own age.
It's not the same as family.
No, but it's better than alienating what family you have left by constantly pressuring them. Just stop harassing Kevin. Do you want him to cut ties with you too?
He wouldn't do that. Kevin has always been the good son.
I was the good son too until you pushed me too far. Kevin's patience isn't infinite.
Are you threatening me?
I'm warning you. If you keep this up, you'll lose Kevin just like you lost me.
Fine, I'll stop calling them so often.
Don't call them at all about moving in. The answer is no, and it's not gonna change.
What am I supposed to do all alone in this big house?
That's for you to figure out. You made your bed, now lie in it.
How can you be so cruel to your own mother?
I learned from the best. Goodbye, Mom.
Sarah, I was wrong about everything. I apologize for everything I've done. Please come back home.
Eleanor?
Please, hear me out.
That's not happening.
I know I've been terrible to you. I see that now.
It's a bit late for this realization, isn't it?
It's never too late to admit when you're wrong. I've had time to reflect. I reflected on the bad things I did to you. Please forgive me.
Which bad things specifically?
Everything. The way I treated you from the beginning. I apologize.
An apology doesn't erase a decade of mistreatment, Eleanor.
I know, but it's a start. I'm truly sorry.
What brought on this sudden change of heart?
I've been alone in this house. It's given me time to think about my behavior.
Then you also need to apologize for stalking James outside our building and spreading rumors about us to the neighbors.
You knew about that?
The security guard mentioned an older woman watching our building. And 3 different neighbors have called to ask if you're okay because you've been saying strange things.
I didn't realize I was being so obvious.
Of course, these things inevitably reach my ears.
I'm sorry. I just felt like you stole James from me, and I couldn't accept it.
James made his own choice.
I see that now. I was being possessive.
The reason James cut ties with you is because of your own actions. Don't take it out on me.
I understand that now. By the way, I've been in poor health lately.
Is that so?
Yes, I've been having dizzy spells. Sometimes I fall and can't get up for hours.
Have you seen a doctor?
But they can't find anything specific. They say it's an age-related decline. My health has deteriorated to the point where I can't live alone anymore. I'm in the same situation your father-in-law was in. It took this for me to finally appreciate what you did. It's too late, I know, but you're the only one I can rely on now.
What exactly are you asking me to do?
I thought perhaps you could move back in, help take care of me like you did for my husband.
You want me to be your caregiver now?
You were so good at it, and we're still family despite everything.
I'm sorry, but you should go to a hospital for treatment, or hire a caregiver, or find some other solution.
But I can't afford a professional caregiver. The money I have barely covers my living expenses.
That's not my problem. You have options. Sell the house, move to a smaller place, use that money for care. We're no longer connected, remember? Those were your words.
But things are different now. I need help.
We have no legal or familial relationship anymore. Again, your choice.
But morally, you can't just leave me to suffer.
If you were truly in danger, I might consider helping.
I am in danger. I could fall again, hit my head. I could be on the floor for days.
No, I know you're perfectly healthy.
What? How could you possibly know that?
I bumped into your doctor at the grocery store last week. She mentioned she'd just given you a clean bill of health. And your neighbors told me about your gossip.
What gossip?
about how you're faking illness to get sympathy from James and Kevin. I still keep in touch with them, and we get along well. They tell me all about you.
Why would they tell you that?
Mrs. Chen across the street saw you jogging at 6 a.m. yesterday. Hardly the behavior of someone who falls and can't get up for hours.
She must have seen someone else.
She took a photo. Would you like me to send it to you?
That's an invasion of privacy.
Thanks to them, I'm well liked in the neighborhood. On the other hand, they all seem to dislike you.
That's not true.
It is. That's how I learned about your schemes.
You can't trust what they say.
They have no reason to lie. You, on the other hand, have a long history of manipulation.
Please, I'm begging you. How am I supposed to live alone from now on? I'm getting old, and it's becoming difficult to manage by myself.
That's not my concern. You kicked us out. You threw out the people who were taking care of you, so this is the consequence of your own actions.
Don't be so cold. I apologize for kicking you out.
It's too late for apologies. You made your position very clear.
Please, Sarah, I have no one else to turn to. Kevin won't even take my calls anymore.
I wonder why that might be. Of course, I'm angry about being kicked out. But what I can't forgive most is how you insulted your husband.
What?
Do you remember what you said about him? That he was useless and an embarrassment?
I was upset. I didn't mean it.
Yes, you did. Those words came from your heart. Your husband was sad that you wouldn't help with his care, but he always blamed himself. He kept saying he was sorry for being a burden to you. And he asked me not to abandon you even after he was gone. He was worried about you until his final moments.
Really?
He loved you despite everything. Even when you couldn't be bothered to spend time with him, he defended you to others.
I didn't know.
How could you? You never cared. That's why I decided to stay with you no matter what, out of respect for his wishes.
Then why are you abandoning me? Are you going against his wishes?
No, your husband also knew that our relationship wasn't good. He told me that if you continued to treat me coldly, I should feel free to cut ties with you.
I don't believe he said that. He would never release you from your duty to me.
It was a request made out of love. Love that you've thoroughly rejected.
How dare he say such a thing?
Even now, you can't help but criticize him, can you? After everything he did for you. But even when you treated me coldly, I never thought of leaving you.
Then why now?
You treated your husband like a nuisance. You called him useless. So, I discussed it with James, and we decided to live separately from you. And this decision will never change.
People say things they don't mean when they're upset.
No, Eleanor. People say what they truly feel when they're upset. The mask slips.
Don't say that. Let's live together again.
Never.
What can I do to make things right? Name your price.
I will never forgive you for trampling on your husband's feelings. Goodbye.
Wait, Sarah, please.
This conversation is over. Don't contact me again. Afterward, Eleanor was shunned by everyone and fell into depression, which actually did affect her physical health. Kevin sold the family home and used the money to place Eleanor in a nursing home, where she now lives. Predictably, no one visits her. Meanwhile, I'm enjoying life in our high-rise. With Eleanor gone from the neighborhood, I feel even more free. My father-in-law's caregiving responsibilities over, I found myself with extra time. So, I've started studying to become a certified caregiver. Going forward, I want to help people like my father-in-law who can't fully move on their own.
Even though you're talking with men all the time at work, you're still not married? I thought that a woman working in the red light district would have herself a man by now that she'd want to tie the knot with. But maybe that would be bad for the job, so perhaps it is better if you stayed single forever. And considering your age, it would be insane for a man to love you anyway. Nova? I was wondering why you wanted to talk with me again after so long. What's going on here? Are you just in a really bad mood right now? Huh? If anything, right now I'm in a very good mood, and that's why I'm taking shots at you. And what better way to pass the time than making fun of a brainless old stripper from the red light district? Nova, is this really you, Nova? Have you been taken away by a bad group of people or something? Or are you just really drunk at the moment? I never thought this would happen to you. Seriously, what happened since the last time we talked? I've always felt this way about you, though. But I was always a good girl and made sure to keep all my true thoughts about you under wraps. What is that supposed to mean? Do you mean you have really hated me all this time because of the kind of work I've done? And why would you be going off on me now? I'm going to be getting married. And if that wasn't already crazy enough, my soon-to-be husband is the son of a very well-regarded CEO. In other words, my future is safe and secured. Ah, is that so? Well, that's really good to hear, at least. Congratulations on that. I feel a whole lot better now knowing that you'll be getting married to a really well-off man. I'm sure you are, which means that from now on, you no longer have to bother with me. If my man was to find out that I have you as my older sister, I'd be very ashamed of myself. What? What does that mean exactly? For a long time now, you've never made any comments about the sort of work I do and have never ran away from me before. Although you did tell me not to tell anyone else about the kind of profession I've had. But you've thought about me and my work that way this whole time? Well, of course I have, Em. There is not a little girl in this world that could be proud of their older sister working for a red light district of all places. This whole time has been terrible for me, and I had no other choice but to fight back all that embarrassment you brought me. And I think I did a very good job doing so. No way. But for the longest time now, I've been doing everything I could to take care of you in place of our parents. I ended up leaving high school in order to go out and find a decent job that would make enough money for the both of us. And I decided on working as a stripper because it would earn me the most and I'd be able to pay for food and the cost of you going to college. What? Are you asking for me to cry about all you've done now? Stop trying to ask for something in return for all the things you chose to do. By the way, look, you're even trying to act like you would become my parent figure even though I never ever asked you to. What does that mean exactly? I'm saying you're just calling yourself my parent now to make me feel bad and give you some kind of respect in return for what you've done. Right? Well, if you want to keep acting like my parent in order to get things from me, then how about you pay for my wedding? Being the bride of this event, there are a lot of things I have to pay for. So how about starting this month, you start to give me an allowance so that I can afford everything? Hold on, Nova. You're starting to say all sorts of things that aren't connected to one another, and it's making it really hard for me to understand you. If you find that I'm such an embarrassment to you, then why are you still asking me to help you in terms of money? Don't say things like that about this, Em. I'm still your cute little sister, aren't I? And this wedding is going to be your cute little sister's one and only chance to make everyone jealous of her. You should want to make sure that my wedding goes off without a hitch, right? Well, after all the things you just said about me and my profession and lifestyle, I'm a bit hurt and confused about you. You understand that, right? Now you're just being a pain in the ass. As a stripper in the red light district, you are very used to dealing with other people, right? That means you should know better than to sit there nitpicking everything and just focus on making me feel good, right? So could you please do that for me? Listen here, Nova. The way I handle things at work and the way I handle things in my private life are completely different. As far as I'm aware, I have made every effort to make sure I could raise you with everything Mom and Dad could. Yet the way you were just talking about me then? Oh, I get it already. I may have said a bit too much just then, but I was just telling the truth, right? And that meant I don't want you doing anything unnecessary these next couple of months, okay? I've already told my fiancé and all his family that my older sister has been living overseas working for a global company. You're not going to be meeting with any of my man's family now, okay? That's fine with you, right? So that's the kind of lie you told about your own sister? Nova, are you seriously that embarrassed by the things I do as your older sister? I have been telling you that you're embarrassing this whole time. I happen to have graduated from college, yet my older sister never even made it out of high school and instead chose to become a stripper. You have to understand that saying something like that to everyone else won't go down well, right? That is why I don't want my fiancé or any of his family meeting with you. And that's why I told them you're living overseas, so they'd stop asking about you altogether. If you were to meet with them now, you'd only be making things worse for me, right? I don't understand how you could do that, though. Thank goodness I actually tried my hardest in life and made it to where I am now. I never wanted to become someone with the looks or lifestyle as you am, and that helped encourage me to try harder. I would have hated having to work a job like stripping, where I'd be ruining my own image the moment I told anyone about it. That's why I did my best and went overseas for a bit of school. And after telling my fiancé about all of that, I was able to get him to fall in love with me. I've come out on top of you now, and am living a far different life than my sloppy older sister. What the heck? You going overseas for school cost quite a lot of money in the end. But you continue to tell me just how much you wanted to go and experience class and life in another country. That's why I went and did my best in order to get a loan to support you with. You know about how I did that, right? Yes, I most definitely do. And it's not like the life of a stripper is that hard, right? All you have to do is relax and the money just flows in. You shouldn't just be asking me for thanks because you've been working one of the easiest jobs women can ever get. What? You think my job is easy? Yeah, because that's the truth, right? All you do is dance around on stage and then come down to talk with men and drink alcohol with them all night. You never have to use your brain and just have to move your body in different ways in order to get those men to hand you money. So easy, right? That's the kind of work even a high school dropout can do, right? But there's the thing that nobody ever wants to talk about with that kind of work. And that's the good paycheck, right? So that's what you think about the job of stripping? This whole entire time you've been around me, that's what you've thought of my job? Yes, that's right. And it's not like you ever had to say anything to me about your work. All I asked for was for you to shut up and bring in the money like a good little ATM. So thanks for all that. Wait, all of this crap you keep saying about me is really starting to get to my head. Why are you saying all of those things about me right now of all times? There's no real meaning behind it. I just felt that right now was the right time to let you know the truth that I've been hiding from you. I'm sure had I done the same thing as you and started life as a stripper when I was in high school, I could be so rich by now and not need a man to support me. But of course, then I'd still have to go to work and be around all those crusty men. So you know what? I think it's better that I ended up here, getting ready to marry the son of a CEO. I'll have even more money this way, so screw being a stripper. I never thought the day would come where my own little sister would look down on me with such disdain. Well, that's just the way I'd been feeling about you this whole time. Now get to work saving up $30,000 for my wedding day. And if you can do that for me, I'll give you the gift of cutting ties to you for good. I'm sure that you'll start to hate me for costing you so much money over time, right? I have never thought of you as a waste of my money and have never wanted to. To me, you've always been the most important person in my life. It's been hard for me to make all the money you've required, but that's just what it's taken to raise you into a good little girl. Honestly, I've been so proud of what I've done for you, yet... Well, you're not wrong. You sure did do a great job raising me into a great woman. But having me around you will only last until my wedding, all right? After that, I'll have my husband take care of me and my needs. Nova, after getting married, will you be ready to pull yourself together and act like a good wife for him? I never wanted to think that someday you'd turn into the kind of hurtful woman you've become, but now I'm worried about how things will play out after the wedding and whether or not you'll be causing a lot of problems for your husband and his family. What? Everything is fine on my end. Sure, I may look down on you and think of you as pretty pathetic. But when it comes to my fiancé, I respect the hell out of him. I see. All right then. Hello, Luca. I have something little that I'd like to ask you about.
If it isn't M. I'll listen to and answer anything you have to talk about anytime. What's been going on with you? Did something happen between you and I recently?
Nothing that has to do with you directly, but it is something that's a bit tough for even me to spit out. I just wanted to let you know that if Nova starts to become a bit of a problem for you and your family, you can call the marriage off anytime you please. That's what I've been thinking about recently, and hence why I'm here talking about it with you.
What? What did you just say? Why would you come at me with something like that randomly? Isn't she the little sister you've done so much for all these years now? Did something happen between you and her that I should be aware of?
About that, when she was confident she'd be getting married to the son of a well-off CEO, she came to me with a confession. Before that happened, things between her and I had been just fine, but, well, it seems she hasn't thought of me in a good way this whole time.
What do you mean by that? When you say that Nova hasn't been thinking of you in a good way, does that mean she's wanted to fight you?
No, I don't think she's been wanting to fight. She told me that my work as a stripper is a very embarrassing thing for her. And then right after saying such a horrible thing to me, she asked for me to pay her $30,000 for her wedding. And then she went on about how after the wedding, she'd be cutting ties to me forever since I'd be a pain for her afterwards. She even said that I'd be happy about cutting ties to her because she's been costing me so much money this whole time.
What the heck has she been going on about? I thought that after she had lost her parents, things were tough on her and she'd find an even better reason to be close to her sister. Or maybe she's sorry about having to always rely on you and your money, and so now she's wanting to say goodbye, thinking that that'll make things better for the both of you and you can both be happy forever? Or perhaps she's always thought of you as too over-controlling and would rather break away from you now that she's marrying me than always having you by her side.
I'm sure either one of those could also be the case here. But that's really not how any of the things she was saying before sounded.
Well, she has always been one to hide bits and pieces of her feelings from others. And maybe she did her best to hide them from you since you're always looking after her. You are one of the nicest people I know, so I can understand why she would have hidden those true feelings for so long. But she can't possibly be serious about calling you an embarrassment and wanting to totally cut ties to you. There's just no way that would make any sense.
Luca, thank you for saying those things. Even if it's just for a little bit, you've made me feel better.
Now, I really hope that you realize that you've done so many amazing things in your life and have made some of the largest sacrifices for others. And if you don't, I'm sure you will soon when watching your little sister get married. You'll be able to find happiness in having given up on high school for Nova and having put all your energy into her. Things like that are sure not easy, especially when you were just a teen when it all started happening.
I suppose that's all true. But whenever I bring any of that up with Nova now, she tells me I'm just trying to get her to pay me back or something for what I'd done.
You haven't said anything to her that would make her feel as though she owes you anything, right? I don't think that she really thinks you want anything in return from her. I'm sure there's just a little bit of confusion involved here, perhaps some stress on her end.
You might be right about that. I'm not sure that's the truth, though.
As for myself, I could always tell the kind of woman you'd become the moment you left to start working. I could see that you were willing to leave everything behind, all in order to make a difference in your sister's life, no matter the cost. That is why someone like you should become the happiest person of us all. That's what I want for you. I've always been saying things like that, but you've never listened, and it's made me feel so bad.
Saying things like that about me have always made me feel happy. But all this time, I've only had one thing on my mind that I've been working for, and that's Nova's happiness. If I'm never able to see her become the happiest girl possible, then go off on my own, I'm sure she'll become hurt again and will never find joy in life. I've always been saying that to myself, and that's the kind of thought that's kept me going.
You sure have always been saying things like that. But here's the thing. That was going on inside you then. Now there's something else going on within you. So I think right now you should be more focused on your own happiness than anything and anyone else. You've fought so hard to make it this far, right?
Thank you for saying that, Luca. But I just really hope this marriage will be making Nova happy. If that's the case, then I really can have the time to start thinking about myself, and then both her and I can become happy.
I know what you mean. And that's what I'm talking about. Well, I guess to start things off, let's do what you've been wanting to do the most. Let's make sure that Nova achieves the happiness she's always been talking about.
All right, well, thank you so much for helping me out with this. Hey, what are you doing at this wedding venue? I never even invited you out to this wedding, right? What are you going on about now? I already saw that you went and hired someone else to play your older sister today. And then when you saw me walk in, you came and splashed wine all over my face. That had to happen because the one person I did not want here today came and was about to blow things in front of everyone. Do you want for my wedding to be ruined today? Of course I don't want for your wedding to be ruined. For a very, very long time now, I've been waiting for you to get married and have a wedding. After so many years of raising you as a parent. I just thought that I'd finally be getting the closure I've been wanting, seeing you move on into another family. You were the one that chose to drop out of high school yourself and become some stripper. What? What do you mean? Are you trying to say the way things ended up was all my fault? That's actually kind of what I'm saying. I don't ever remember asking for you to take care of me, and I sure as hell never asked for my number one embarrassment to come to my wedding today. Before anyone else can see or recognize you, get the hell out of here. I see. Then I hope you have a happy marriage. From now on, I will no longer be bothering to worry about you anymore. You should start worrying about yourself now. I'm telling you right now, from here on out, you and I have no more ties to one another. By the way, I told you to have $30,000 ready to give to me today, didn't I? I never saw that money come into my accounts at all, so don't come here acting like you deserve anything at all from me now. I see. All of this and that, you've been very much serious about then. If that's how you've been thinking of everything, then I'll think of them the same way. Of course I've been serious about everything. Wait, did you think for a while there that I wasn't serious about you and the money? That just proves that the inside of your head is nothing more than hot air. I guess being surrounded by alcohol and men all the time as a stripper has really gone and melted away your brain. I wonder where I went wrong when I tried to raise you like my daughter. Well, from now on, I will no longer be around to help you out. Good luck living your new life on your own out there. You're the one that's going to have to get used to living on your own now. I'm the one getting married today and will live my joyful life with my husband and his family. Goodbye forever, Nova. Em, where are you at right now? Come back to my wedding right now. I want you to be a part of my wedding now. I could have sworn we just cut ties to one another, right? Why are you talking to me already like we're sisters again? I told you already that this was it and that I'd no longer be around to help you anymore, right? You wanted to end things with me, so don't be backtracking now because it benefits you here. Don't say things like that right now, Em. I was just told that if you're not here for the wedding, that we will no longer be getting married. Why is my fiancé and all of his family so upset with me right now? And wait, why did they all find out right away that the woman I hired to play as you was a fake? Well, that's because of one simple fact I forgot to tell you about. I'm the one that introduced your fiancé to you. Ooh, what? What's that supposed to mean? Do you want to know why you ended up with the son of a very well-off CEO? Because I've been friends with that son for a long time now. And I told him about you. I told him that you were looking for someone without ever letting you know anything about how I knew him. Huh? What do you mean? What do you mean you did that without ever letting me know? I'd known for a long time that you would never really like the fact that I work as a stripper. And I was thinking that if you found out that I was the one that introduced you to one of my friends, you would probably think of him as someone that oftened the strip club and red light district. So I told him where to find you one day, and that's how I got him to approach you without having me to be a part of the picture. Is that right? Don't worry, though, as your fiancé has never gone to the red light district before in this town and doesn't really care for strippers anyway. He and I have just been really close friends for a long time now, and he's always been there to look after me and my feelings. He's done so much for me, and so I wanted to show him to someone I knew he'd go well with in return, and that was you. And that's why at this moment you have a fiancé that you're about to get married to. Tell me, why would you even introduce a man like him to me in the first place? Don't you want to be the one to marry him and live life as the daughter-in-law of a CEO? I'm not going to believe any of that story for even a second. You don't have to believe any of what I've told you about him, but that is the truth. After all, I'd always dreamed about making you happy before me. I thought it would be horrible of me to become happy before you after all the hell you had to live through before. And that's why I wanted him to become your husband. Huh? What do you mean by all of that? I'm sure you've hated having to be a stripper in order to make any money, right? Stop trying to act like you're some good older sister and tell me the truth. Well, I suppose I have thought about things like that as well. But really, I wasn't going to leave the job I had to be with a man I knew I wasn't meant for. And that's why I thought that you should have him. Even if that did mean me remaining as a stripper. But honestly, I have been thinking about you and your happiness all this time, Nova. I felt that if I became happy before you ever could, that you'd be all on your own as I ran off with my husband and his family. I would rather myself be alone and you have a happy marriage than the other way around. What the hell, Em? There's no way you could have been thinking I'd end up all on my own that much, right? But when Mom and Dad passed away, you were crying for weeks and weeks, right? I know that you were, because you wouldn't even leave your room for a month and all I could hear was crying. I get that I had a very rough time after they left us, but that was just because I wasn't used to life without them in it just yet. Yes, I'm well aware of that. But I could see that you were never going to be able to get a hold of yourself without some help. And that's why I changed my life so that you could become happy again and not think about what happened anymore. I'm sure my reasoning for why I left high school and started to work was a bit wrong, but now that I think of why, I know I did the right thing. That's why when I met with Luca, your fiancé, I knew it would be awful if I married him and left you behind. I was afraid of what might happen to you after I had a husband and kids. You were thinking about all of those things when thinking about marriage? Yes, I sure was. But perhaps I've interfered in your life too much now. All because of what might just be a huge ego of mine or something. Heck, that's why things have gone the way they're going now. My ego told me that if I could make you happy, then it would be all right for me to start focusing on myself again. And that's why I was totally fine with you cutting ties to me. To be frank, a lot of the burden I've been carrying is gone now because you wanted me out of your life. So that's how much you had been thinking about me and my happiness? then that means you can come back here right now to help me, right? If you start coming back now, you'll make it in time. We can tell everyone that we just had a big fight and that everything is squared up between us now. No, not happening. When you splashed that red wine into my face, your fiancé saw everything. And that is why right now he is here with me, apologizing for everything as well as praising me for what I've done. It also sounds like he's gone and told all of his family about you so that everyone is aware now. You shut the hell up! If that's what's really happened, then my chances of getting married to Luca will disappear. I was so happy to finally be getting married that I went and took on a lot of debt preparing for this. I thought that after getting married, I'd be able to have all that debt paid off. So if this wedding and my chances of marriage vanish, then so will my life. Had you been a good child and just listened to me and what I wanted for you, none of this would ever be happening. I'm sorry, but due to the choices you've made, being married to a man like Luca and joining his family is not a match for you, so give up. And one other thing. As for the loan taken out for you to go to college and overseas, you'll be paying them off all by yourself now. If you want to think you have the right to make fun of other people and talk down to them, then you'd better make sure your life is in order before doing so. After that final text I sent to my sister, her face went ghostly white and she began to try and call me. However, having told me she wanted to cut ties to me in order to avoid embarrassment, I took that personally and made sure to ignore every single call that came in. Soon after the talks about marriage had ended, Luca was completely over Nova, but was still concerned about how I was doing. And so after some talking about what I'd do next, he took me out for dinner and we began to talk about our futures together. There, Luca asked me if I'd be willing to go on an official date with him, and that started a relationship between him and I. When things came to Nova after being told she's no longer getting married to Luca, she ran off and started to look for a job while crying about all the money she owed and that she couldn't use me as her ATM anymore. Honestly, I think all of that is exactly what the selfish little brat deserved, but I'm not going to go around telling anyone that until some time has passed. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Regina, are you there? I was wondering if you wouldn't mind helping out with some grocery shopping tomorrow. I imagine that you're free tomorrow, right? So please come over at the usual time to help me. I'm going to be buying some food today, but I also need some toilet bowl cleaner as well as toilet paper. Hello, Diane. I'm sorry to say this, but I can't go out and do your shopping anymore. What are you talking about? You know that my legs aren't doing so well and that I can't go out and shop by myself anymore. If you don't do all my shopping for me at least once a week, then how am I supposed to get the things I need to live? Quit being so selfish and just do what I say. Did you really just call me that? If that's really how you feel, I think that maybe you should go check yourself into a hospital. How many times have I told you? Aside from my legs, I'm perfectly healthy and there's no need for me to go see anyone. Hello, Diane. I'm sorry that I had to disappear in the middle of our conversation. I was getting the bandages around my head replaced and put my phone down to do it. Bandages on your head? What happened? Did you get hurt or something recently? I can certainly see banging your head into something, since you're such a klutz. I actually received this injury from you today, Diane. I told you that I wasn't really feeling well, but you forced me to go to your family reunion. I couldn't even participate in anything. You just made me cook all the food and serve it to everyone. Then, right when I thought it was done, you came up from behind and hit me in the head with a pot. The only reason I hit you was because I caught you sitting and I needed to teach you a lesson. You needed to learn that you don't get to rest until every single one of your guests has gone home. But I had already done so much for you and all while feeling bad, and besides, they weren't even my guests, they were yours. All I wanted was to get off my feet for a little bit, but I wasn't even sitting 1 minute before you showed up. Then you started saying all these horrible things like just because I send money to you every month doesn't mean I can laze around, and that your daughter works so much harder than I do, and then you smacked me upside the head. Oh, please, don't be such a baby. I barely even hit you that hard. Are you kidding me? There was blood coming out of my head. I don't know why you always treat me like this. Ever since your husband died, I've been waiting on you hand and foot, even sending you money every month to help cover all your expenses. I feel like I do every little thing that you ask of me. I know that your daughter got married and moved away, so it's hard to count on them for much help, and I'm not expecting them to make the trip down for everything you need either. But I just don't get why you had to compare me to your daughter when I was the one there actually helping you. And on top of that, on top of all the help and support I gave you, getting hit in the head is all I get in return. You must really think you're the center of the universe or something, don't you? You married my oldest son, so of course you are always going to be helping me with whatever I need. And you keep going on and on about the money you send, but it's only $2,500 a month. And you're telling me that isn't enough for you? I know damn well that my son works his butt off at his job, and then he makes more than enough for the both of you. And yet you insisted on keeping your job even though you knew it meant that you would be spending less time helping me. You sending me that money was a way to help make up for ignoring your responsibilities towards me, and it barely covers that. I'm sorry, but I think that money is more than enough for you to live off of, Diane. It's enough for me to get by on if I never want to do anything fancy for the rest of my life. Look, I'm about to go to the hospital to get all of this looked at, and I just want you to know that I will be charging you for my medical bills. Excuse me? Is that supposed to be some kind of joke or something? You really need to get off your high horse if you think that this is how you get to treat people for a measly $2,500 a month. I should have hit you harder in the head. Then maybe you would have finally come to your senses. You'll never make me pay for your hospital bills. Okay, fine then. If that's really how you want to play it, then I'll just stop sending you money entirely. Why don't you just go ahead and try it? Just remember that to me, that's all you're good for, and if you stop paying me, I will make my son leave you.
Hey, Regina, where are you right now? I just got home and no one else was there. I'm starting to get worried. All the lights were off and everything. Did something happen?
Oh, Ben, I'm really sorry. I've been so busy that I haven't been able to reach out to you all day. I'm actually just about to leave the hospital right now.
Wait, the hospital? What were you doing there? Did you get hurt?
Well, your mom hit me in the head with a cooking pot. And she hit me right in the lip of the pot, so I was bleeding from the wound a little bit and went to go get examined. Thankfully, the doctor said that it wasn't as bad as it could have been, and there's no brain damage or anything.
I'm sorry, back up. Did you say that your mom hit you in the head with a cooking pot? Why were you even with my mom in the first place? I thought you said that you weren't feeling well and that you weren't gonna go to my mom's family party thing. You even told me that she said she was fine if you didn't go.
I know I said that, but then she showed up to our place ringing the doorbell and wouldn't leave until I went with her. She was making such a racket, and I just wanted to get her away before any neighbors noticed.
What is the matter with her? Why would she do something like that? I'm so sorry this happened, Regina. I should have been more strict with my mom about this kind of thing. And I wasn't, and now you got hurt as a result of my not wanting to stand up to my mom.
Thank you so much, Ben. But please don't blame yourself for any of this. I'll let you know once I'm done here, okay?
Yes, please let me know, and tell me if there's anything I can do for you.
Hey Ben, I'm all done, and I think I've been cleared to go home. Would you mind coming to pick me up?
Of course, I'll be right there. And then I think that I'm going to have a long talk with my mom. There is no way I'm going to sit back and do nothing now that something like this has happened.
I really don't think you need to do that, Ben.
What do you mean? You don't want me to talk to my mom about this?
No, it's not that. I just really don't think that your mom is gonna listen to anything we try and say to her. Besides, there's something else.
Something else? What do you mean by that?
I mean that today, while I was at the hospital, I found out that I'm pregnant.
Wait, really? Are you serious?
Yeah, they did a full-body physical on me and finally used the sonogram and found out. That's why it took me so long to get checked out. But now I'm so grateful that at least I didn't fall on the floor after your mom hit me. Things could have turned out much, much worse, especially for this baby I have inside of me. But anyways, for the time being, I really just don't want to see your mom at all. I don't know if she's gonna try to hurt me again.
I understand that, but I don't think that we can just cut off my mom like it's nothing. If anything, trying to do so might just aggravate her more.
So you're still not quite ready to stop talking to your mom entirely then, even after this?
I know what you're probably thinking about me. Even I'm wondering if this wouldn't have happened if I did something like that sooner.
No, I understand it's asking a lot of you to stop talking to your mom, but I have another idea if you'd like to listen to it. Hey, Regina, just what the heck is going on here, huh? I thought I told you to go out and do my shopping yesterday. Why isn't it done? Good morning, Diane. I wasn't able to do your shopping yesterday because, as I told you, I was in the hospital. They kept me there late because they wanted to make sure I didn't have any permanent head damage. I knew I didn't hit you hard enough. If I did, you wouldn't still be making excuses about why you don't want to help out your poor mother-in-law. But at this rate, I'm going to starve. Is that what you want? Honestly, I don't think it would really bother me if you did. Excuse me? What did you just say? How dare you say something like that to a poor old woman like me? You're nothing but a rotten, mean person. Listen, Diane, I'm not trying to be rude here, but you do have a daughter of your own. In fact, she was there at your little family get-together yesterday. So much of your family was. And yet, I was the one who did all of the cooking and serving. Why didn't you ask anyone else for help? Because they were all my guests and I was hosting them, of course. I understand that, but everyone there was family, and I don't get why it would have been so bad to ask for help. Instead, you just put all the work on me and then went to socialize. In fact, not only did I have to cook and serve everyone, but your daughter even gave me her child to look after. And just what's wrong with that, huh? Don't you realize how busy she is raising her kids all the time? The least you could have done for her was take her kids off her hands for a while and give her a break. I can't believe that all you ever do is complain. Do you enjoy being the way you are?
Regina, are you there? I just want to let you know that I went to the town hall and picked up those documents. It was a bit of a hassle, but I think we got all the paperwork we need. How are you feeling, by the way? You're not straining yourself at all, right? I'll take care of everything at home, so don't worry about that.
Hey there, Ben. Yes, I feel a lot better and more relaxed now. I think all I needed was a few hours to lie around in bed.
So you really don't think you have to go back to the hospital for anything?
I think it's for the best that I don't go. If your mom ever found out that I was there, I wouldn't have anywhere to run. Although I did lie to her about still being in the hospital.
That's probably a good idea. If she knew where you really were, she would probably come over and try to talk to you face to face.
Ben, I just want to check with you one last time. Are you sure about going along with my plan? You know that after this, you're probably never going to speak to your mom again.
I know, but if it's what I have to do to protect you and our child, then I'll do it. I wasn't able to protect you from my mom yesterday, but I won't make that same mistake again. By the way, you remember my dad, don't you?
Yeah, I remember that him and your mom split up and then your mom got remarried, right?
That's right, although it wasn't like they divorced because they disliked each other or anything. My mom actually cheated on my dad.
Wait, what? I had no idea about that.
I know, I should have said something earlier, but I was just so embarrassed about it. I'm sorry that I wasn't more upfront about any of that with you.
Ben, you don't have anything to apologize for. I never really ask about your mom anyways, and you don't need to tell me all your family's secrets anyways.
Thank you so much for understanding, Regina. But anyway, after the divorce, my mom fought really hard to keep custody of us, and that's why we didn't end up going with our dad. But I never got along with my mom's new husband, and only tolerated him because my mom liked him so much. But he was a really strict man who wasn't afraid to punish my sister and I harshly if we acted up. Finally, I just gave up and decided to just accept whatever came my way because it was easier than fighting.
You've been through so much, Ben. I just hope you don't blame yourself for any of it.
I'm not sure, but at least I know that with you, I really feel like I can be myself. And the reason I say all of this is so that you know why it's so difficult for me to leave my mom. You see, not longer before you and I got married, my mom's second husband died. I remember that she was just crushed at the funeral. I'd never seen her so distraught and finally despondent. I couldn't bear the thought of turning my back on her. Even when she asked us to start sending her money every month, I felt that it was okay since she worked so hard to raise us.
Well, you were putting in most of the money that we were sending to her.
But of course I would. I'm her son and she came to me to ask for it. But I can't forgive her this time after what she did for you. So I'm gonna do what it takes and protect you and our child from her from here on out. In fact, I think I knew that I would come to this decision the moment you said you were pregnant. I would do anything for you both. Thank you for showing me that, Regina.
Hey, Regina, how come you haven't sent me any money this month? I thought I told you that if you stopped paying me, that would be the end of your marriage to my son. I'm afraid that that threat isn't going to work on me, Diane. Ben and I are already divorced. Wait, what? What do you mean by that? Are you really so surprised about that? You said that if I stopped sending you money that you would force Ben and I to get a divorce. Well, I decided that I didn't feel like paying you anymore, so I saved you the trouble and divorced Ben myself. You really are an idiot, you know. I must have done more damage to your head than I realized. But now that you've left Ben, you do realize that no one will ever want to marry you ever again, right? I mean, who would want a woman who couldn't even hold her first husband down? You're going to spend the rest of your life lonely and miserable. But I'll be kind and spare you that fate just this once. I'll let you marry my son again if you start sending me the money. Except this time, I want $3,000 every month. Now go ahead and thank me and tell me how grateful you are for this chance. Diane, I think there's some kind of mistake here, because I've already gotten married. Wait, what? You divorced my son and have already found someone else? Does that mean you were cheating on Ben this whole time? Cheating? No, I would never do that. I'm not you, after all. I got remarried to Ben. What's going on here? Is this some kind of stupid game you're trying to play? So then you two never really got divorced and nothing really changed at all? No, you still don't get it. We got married, and this time Ben took my last name. Okay, well now I know that you must be joking. Why would my son want to throw away his family name for yours? Well, that would be because Ben never wants to speak with you ever again. That's a lie too. My Ben would never say something like that. Benjamin, you have got some explaining to do, young man. What is this business I hear about you taking your wife's last name? Please tell me that you didn't really.
No, it's no mistake at all. You've already done all the paperwork, so it's official. I have Regina's last name now.
Oh, you little ingrate. Well, go and reverse it right now. Or do all the years I spent raising you just mean nothing?
I know that you worked hard to raise me, Mom, and I'm thankful for all that you've done. But at the end of the day, you were my mom and that was your job. I don't think I'm obligated to do anything back for you. Besides, you were the one who went and cheated with Dad and got remarried to that horrible man. Not only that, but you two quickly started treating my sister like she was your only child, and I felt like I had no place at home.
Are you really speaking ill of the dead right now? When did you get so disrespectful?
Mom, I know how upset you were when he died, and I really was trying to pity you after he was gone. But I've reached my limits, and now I have to do what I can to protect my family.
Your family? Did you get hit in the head too? I am your family, Ben. You can't just take your wife's name and pretend like we don't exist. Besides, you don't even have any kids. How can you choose your wife over the rest of your whole real family? What did she do to turn you against us?
Enough, Mom! I seriously have had it with you! Regina is pregnant with our child, and as her husband and the father, it's my job to be there for them. And it's clear that keeping you in their life would only be a danger to both Regina and our child. I'm making the choice to protect my family from you. I never wanted it to come to this, but I never want to see you ever again.
Wait, Ben, you can't do this to me. Regina, what did you do to my son? He's blocked my number and he says he never wants to see me again. You knock some sense into this man right this second. Diane, you really need to face reality. If Ben says he never wants to talk to you again, then I'm not going to breach that wish. Oh, just shut up, you brat. You turned him against me and you're going to try and talk down to me? How dare you do this to me? But you still haven't beaten me, you know. I still have another child who I can go to for money. And you really think that your daughter is going to try to do that for you? You're welcome to try, but I don't think it's going to go the way you think. And just why is that, huh? Well, because I've already heard that you've been spending all your money on gigolos and hiring handsome men to go out with you. In fact, I've heard you sunk so much money into doing that you're quite a bit in debt now. Wait a second, how did you hear about all of that? Oh, don't you worry about that. But judging from your reaction, I take it that all of that is true. So, do you really think your daughter is going to help you out of this mess you made for yourself? I can't see it happening. After all, she already has 3 kids of her own. I seriously doubt she would be able to afford to send you the kind of money that you'd be hoping for. But Ben and I aren't giving you anything anymore either. You'll just have to learn how to make do with your savings and retirement money. Wait, so then Ben knows about all of this too? That's right. He knows about your bad habit and the debt it's gotten you in. Well, if you both know how much money I owe, then you have to help me. I won't be able to live if you don't keep sending me money. I'm afraid that you and I have nothing to do with each other anymore. You'll have to figure this out for yourself. This isn't a game. This is my life that we're talking about here. How could you do this to me? These are going to be the last messages you ever get from me, Diane. I've already reported what you did to me to the police, and you're going to be arrested for assault and fraud. Fraud? Are you kidding me? That isn't fair. You're just accusing me of false crime now. But you are guilty of fraud. This whole time you've led me to think that you could barely get yourself around, and that's why you needed so much help. But you had your knees replaced a couple years ago, and you've had no health problems since then. You've just been using me this entire time. But my legs were bad once. Doesn't that count? It doesn't. And especially not after how much of my own money you had me spending on you under this false pretense. Anyways, enjoy jail. After that, Diane was arrested and then agreed to never speak to her ever again. I suppose it's only natural that a woman who cheated on her husband would turn to paying men to shower her with attention. But I later heard from Ben that even his sister cut their mom off, and that Diane was truly left with no one she could turn to for help. I hear she had to take a couple of part-time jobs just to keep up with the interest payments on her debt. Meanwhile, Ben and I have been enjoying the quiet married life and are eagerly expecting the birth of our first child.
Hey there, Millie. I have to say, I was so shocked to see you today. I mean, I was not expecting a family as poor as yours to come walking through my door at all. But I didn't really have much else to do right then, so thanks for helping me kill some time.
Emily, I can't believe that you have the guts to message me like this after what you did.
I don't know what you mean. I was just protecting my store when I saw you reach for some of the products. We can't just let any old riffraff come inside and touch all our precious jewelry, you know? Especially some shabby poor people like yourselves. That's why I kicked you all out. You didn't belong in a store like mine. I was only doing my job of protecting our products from less than savory customers. How dare you talk to me as if I did anything wrong when you all were the people who went somewhere you didn't belong to in the first place? If you thought I was going to go easy on you just because we used to be classmates, you really don't know a thing about me.
I don't believe this. You know we all went into that store to help my mom celebrate her 60th birthday. Do you realize that you completely ruined her day when you kicked us out? Not only that, but while you were throwing us out, you made me fall and rip my dress.
Well, it sounds to me like all I did was remind you of your place in this world.
And just what was that supposed to mean, huh?
Oh, please. I know your parents own some kind of factory or something, but I also know that it's in some little podunk town and that you're just another nobody on the assembly line. My store is the last place you should have thought about going into. We hold some of the finest pieces designed by expert craftsmen from all over the world. We're just as much of a gallery as we are a store. And I know that you don't even have enough money to afford touching one of those pieces. So the moment I saw your finger touch the metal of that necklace chain, I knew I had the green light to throw you out.
That doesn't even make any sense. Do you really still think that you were totally justified in doing that?
Justified? And just why would I have to even justify myself? If anything, I was doing you a favor by reminding you of your place.
Now look, I'm very aware that my parents don't own some huge corporation or anything. But they've owned that factory for years and have attracted skilled employees that have netted them loyal customers. I think it's an amazing success that you're only judging from the surface.
Oh, please. Don't you try and talk to me about skilled workers. Besides, they're probably just a bunch of old geezers who couldn't get a job doing anything else. It's less of a factory and more of a retirement home. And it's no wonder your business does so poorly if that's all you hire. They can barely even work.
Do not insult all the great employees that I work with at the factory.
I'm not insulting anyone. I'm just telling the truth, that's all. You're hiring people on death's door, and that's probably why your business is about to go under. And if your parents are running a store as stupidly as that, then I'm sure your sense of how things are going is even worse. But then again, your parents are poor too, so I guess there was never any point in expecting anything great from them. Hey, I saw you open my messages. They're all marked as read. Don't ignore me. You answer me right this second.
Why would I want to carry on a conversation with someone who's doing nothing but insulting me and the people that I care about?
I already told you that I'm not making fun of anyone or anything like that. I'm just telling you the truth about your situation.
Really? Because all you've been doing is calling my parents and I dumb and poor. And just what did we do to make you this mad at us anyways? Why do you hate us?
Oh, I don't hate you at all. It's more just like I think it would be better if you never existed.
Why would you say something like that?
I say it because ever since we were little, you've always had just the absolute worst taste in what was fancy and what wasn't. I remember in art class you would always score way lower than me. And then in other classes, you would be making such a racket on the keyboard that I couldn't concentrate on anything at all. Plus, you were always doing all those stupid little brain teasers in class and were a total nerd. I've never met someone so nerdy, so weird, so brainy before in all my life. That's why I wish you never existed.
Are you kidding me? Is that really the reason you're going to give me?
What of it? You have a problem with any of what I just said? When I saw you come into my store today in those shabby clothes, it brought back years of resentment towards you. That's why I ended up kicking you hard when I did throw you out of the store. I guess I just let my anger get the better of me. But you were the one who was totally underdressed for my store. You were the one who should have known better.
I don't know why you insist on talking down to me as if I was the same person from high school. In fact, I bet that I have a much nicer standard of living than you can even imagine.
You don't have to lie to me, you know. I know who you really are deep down. For example, knowing you, I bet you couldn't even hack it in your parents' factory. You probably found some way to work from home and you've been doing that ever since, just so that way you don't have to go outside. So maybe you should think about just who it is you're talking to before you open your poor ignorant mouth.
What is even the point of talking to you if you're going to spin every little thing that I say into another way to call me poor? Besides, I'll have you know that the clothes I was wearing today were designed by my sister who works in the fashion industry. I really don't think a poor person could have afforded the outfit I had.
Are you trying to compare your sister to a real fashion designer? I remember your sister, and she was even more stupid than you. Not to mention she couldn't draw to save her life. Do you really expect me to believe that she's some bigwig fashionista or something? Your clothes looked about as poor as you are. And if they were handmade clothes from your sister, then it explains why the material was so cheap and why it rips so easily. Or was that all part of your sister's design? Or maybe you're just lying about your sister and you actually stole those clothes. I wouldn't put it past you.
Are you kidding me right now? What is your deal, Emily?
What are you talking about? I don't have a deal, Millie.
I'm seriously so sick of having to put up with you. What I was wearing was the first outfit that my sister ever designed and produced. I didn't steal anything. Besides, you were the one getting physical with potential customers before throwing them out. Well, just know that you're not going to get away with this. I'll report you.
And just who is going to listen to what some poor little nobody has to say, huh? You need to wake up and face reality, Millie. Nobody cares about what someone like you has to say about someone so far above them like you should have never walked into my store today. And you certainly should have never tried to touch any of the merchandise. That's why I really had to kick you out. But if you're looking for someone to blame for all of that, you can only turn to yourself. It's so tiring having to explain over and over again to a stupid person about just how stupid they really are. And the fact that you didn't know you were going to be thrown out for what you did just proves to me how stupid you really are. If only you were just a little bit smarter, then I wouldn't have to waste so much time repeating myself to you.
Except you do realize that one of the customers you threw out was a CEO, don't you?
Are you still trying to scare me? I don't know if I'd call this owner of some crappy little country factory a CEO. It's about as truthful as saying that your sister is a fashion designer. You're just a weird, nerdy little shut-in who doesn't know anything about the real world.
You can say that all you'd like, but I know that family is full of people who are way better people than you. And not that money matters for every little thing, but my family is not poor. In fact, I think it's fair to say that we're actually quite wealthy, actually. My parents work really hard to run their business and even managed to send both my sister and I to college. And thanks to all the support from them, my sister was able to pursue her dream of being a fashion designer. She always used to keep herself up so late throughout the night working on her designs that it's clear she had real talent for it. And maybe I don't have as clear a vision as my sister, what I'd like to do for the rest of my life, but I have skills too. It's true that you were always better at art than me and did have a sharper eye for aesthetics, but that's why I'm more than happy to step back and cheer my sister on. Not only that, but every single employee that works for my parents is a skilled and experienced veteran of their craft who all have my respect for what they do. And yet, you have the gall to insult every single person in this world that I have respect for. I won't forgive you for this. I'll make you pay, Emily.
All I'm hearing are the empty threats of a sore loser who knows that the words are going to be the only thing they'll have to use against someone so much better than them. Millie! I can't believe you would trick me the way that you did!
What is it now, Emily? What could you possibly want to talk to me about now?
Don't you try and play dumb with me, Millie! I had no idea you were getting part of the ring collection from your mom's workshop! And why would you and your mom dress up as poor people to visit my store? You totally had me fooled! It's as if you were trying to get yourselves kicked out because you knew that I would get in trouble for it. And now I am getting in trouble! I heard your mom is canceling her contract with our store! Well, you better tell her to knock it off!
And just who do you think you are to tell my mom what to do when you keep looking down on us like this?
But it isn't fair! You two tricked me! If I knew who your mom really was, then I would have never treated you two the way that I did. I thought she just ran some tiny little place out in the middle of nowhere!
Well, you're right about that. It is a small place and it's quite remote. The building looks quite shabby and run down from the outside, and it's true that most of the staff are stubborn old people. But they're also all imbued with pride and experience for their craft that shines through in every single piece that they produce. You said so yourself, that your store only takes some of the best works from some of the world's leading jewelers. Well, I'm proud to say that my mom's workshop has many of those people working in it. And yes, you insisted on continuing to insult my family's work and referring to the place as an old folks' home rather than a business. Well, all it took was me mentioning all that you said to my mom, all that you said to her about her staff, for her to decide that she didn't want to do business with your store anymore.
But I was only being honest. I mean, you said so yourself. It's all old people there.
It's because you can't get over your age that my mom is choosing to end doing any business with you. And even if you weren't constantly putting down the staff that she cares about so much, you still threw out the owner of one of your partners from the store. So of course it's natural that that person wouldn't want to do any more business with you. And until you admit what you did was wrong and apologize for it, you're not going to be seeing any more pieces from my mom's workshop. I'm afraid that these people are quite set in their ways and won't budge when it comes to this.
Do you really think I'd fold for you all so easily? You think you're the only jewelers in the world? I'll just find people who do what your workshop does, but for cheaper. It's time for all those geezers to go into retirement and for a new generation of artists to step forward. So if me doing this drives them to work less, so be it. We just got a new company president, and she's always talking about driving our business in a new direction. So if you really thought that you could take us down just like that, you're sorely mistaken. Besides, the store security cameras never caught me kicking you out, so there's no real proof that it happened. No one is ever going to believe you about any of this.
I don't care about any of that. I was just letting you know why my mom made the decision that she did. She also wanted me to tell you that you've made a powerful enemy with us and that you have no idea what's coming your way. You know, I rarely see my mom get this mad. Normally, she's just a patient, kind woman.
Well, good luck punishing me for anything when you don't have any evidence of it. It'll just be your word against mine, and then I'll win. Hello. I'm not quite sure what to do in this sort of situation, but my boss gave me this phone number and told me to call you. I was in the middle of work and was told that I would need to apologize to you. But I'm not even sure who you are, so what do I need to apologize to you about?
Oh, I take it you must be Emily. Well, I happen to be the one who called your boss to report the incident that happened when I tried going into your store the other day.
But I don't get it. I've never seen my boss this panicked before. She wouldn't even listen to what I was trying to tell her.
And yes, I assume I still haven't introduced myself yet. My name is Julia. I assume just from that you've heard of me, right?
Wait a second. You mean Julia? As in that Julia? As in the world-famous jeweler and trendsetter Julia?
Well, I prefer to just think of myself as a jeweler and designer, but yes, I suppose those other words do apply to me as well. If you'd like, I can stop by and bring you my business card if you don't believe me.
I am so sorry. I had no idea that my boss had given me the phone number for the Julia. It's truly an honor. And I would also just like to say how sorry I am for the misunderstanding between us yesterday.
Well, while I do appreciate the apology, I'm more curious about why you thought it was okay to treat two potential customers the way you did in the first place.
I'm really sorry. It was really just a big mix-up. I truly had no idea who you were. And I had never treated any customer before you in that manner. I swear it was just a freak accident.
But that's a lie, isn't it? There was another time when you threw customers out before this. Does the name Millie ring any bells?
Oh, did you hear about Millie from my boss? Well, you see, we've actually been friends since we were young, so I didn't think she was really there to be a customer. And she was wearing horrible clothes and just didn't look like she belonged in the store at all. Not only that, but she was about to put her grubby hands all over your jewelry. And your pieces have always been my favorite, so I was just trying to keep them clean for the real customers. I just didn't want someone like Millie leaving any smudges or scratches to our valuable pieces.
I see, so that's your version of events then, is it? Well, I suppose that settles it then. From this day on, I no longer am going to do any business with your store.
Wait, hold on. Julia, you can't be serious.
Of course I am. You disrespected someone that I have great admiration for. I simply can't do business with people who treat others like that.
You don't mean to say that you have a great admiration for Millie, right?
Of course I do. You might not know this, but Millie happens to be my older sister.
Wait a second. You mean you're the same Julia that could barely even draw when she was little?
That's right, and I understand from Millie that you had some very strong opinions about me. Although you weren't entirely wrong, it's true that I struggled in my first art classes, and many of my past designs were rejected when I submitted them. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to stand up for my little sister. She may not have the mind of an artist, but when it comes to math, she's one of the brightest people that I've ever seen. And she does things I never even knew you could do on a laptop. I'm sure that the day is going to come when even I get jealous of her success. But I just use those feelings to help push myself further into my artwork. One of my latest ideas has very much been a back-to-basics approach. I looked over some of my oldest designs from when I was in high school, and the rich mix of colors and patterns brought back a deep sense of nostalgia for me. I've been looking for something unique and revolutionary, and when I created a test piece and gave it to my sister to wear, she was overjoyed with it. Call it childish, but I knew that if my big sister liked it, that meant it was good. And yet, you not only insulted and disrespected my sister, but you also ripped my new design. I can't forgive you for any of that.
But wait, you can't cancel your contract with us because of that. That was personal and this is business.
I've been thinking about a lot lately. I don't want to think personal feelings should get in the way of business. And I know that losing this contract is going to affect my mom's business too. But my mom stood by me and told me that I needed to make the decisions that would allow me to sleep at night. It also helped that she was furious with you. More angry than I've ever seen her before, to be honest.
Wait, Julia, please, surely we could talk this out. I think we can both see that this is just one huge mistake, right? I had no idea about any of this.
It's far too late to try and apologize for this now.
But I really am sorry. You have to believe me. Please don't cancel your contract. I'm begging you.
I've already made up my mind, but you can only blame yourself for this.
But you don't want to do this. It'll hurt your reputation if you want to work with any other stores, and you'll still have to pay out your end for breaking the contract. Not to mention that your sister could be seen as committing fraud. I mean, she came into my store dressed in a ridiculous outfit and hid who her family was. She baited me into acting the way I did. That's a crime. You wouldn't want anything to fall on your sister, would you?
Are you threatening my sister with a lawsuit? Give it your best shot, but I know that you don't have a chance at winning against us.
Millie? Are you there? Please, you have to talk to your sister for me. She's taking this way too far, and now everyone is blaming me for losing the Julia contract.
I mean, that would probably be because it's all your fault that Julia wanted to stop working with your store, right?
Of course it isn't my fault. It's all yours and your sister's fault, and now our business is falling apart. Not only that, but I'm being served with a fine from my company for damaging potential profit. They're going to fire me and sue me for the trouble that they think I caused them. But I didn't even do anything wrong. This is all your fault. You tricked me and caused all this to happen. You have to pay me the money I need to get out of this. You did this to me.
Oh, Emily, so sorry I didn't get back to you. I read all your messages, but I'm just really busy with more important things right now.
Don't you lie to me, you little shut-in. I know that you're just buying time for yourself.
I really don't have any need to do that, though. I mean, you've already been fired, and your job is charging you for the damages you caused. Not to mention the lawsuit you're getting from me after you literally kicked me out.
But you can't do that! By the time this is all over, I'm going to end up owing people over $100,000!
Oh, right. It's quite a large sum, isn't it? Oh well, you'll still have to pay it. After all, someone needs to accept responsibility for all that's happened.
This isn't fair! I don't have that kind of money! I am not a CEO or something like that!
I guess sometimes I forget normal people can't pay those kinds of fees.
Oh, what's that supposed to mean?
Well, you remember how I always used to be good with numbers in high school, right? Well, I took those skills and honed them over the years, as I learned about the stock market. So yes, I do work from home. But only as an incredibly successful day trader.
So you just invest money for a living?
Pretty much, yes. The rest of my family all took over artistically creative paths, but I ended up going into the numbers route. We all stick by each other and help each other out when we need it.
But why didn't you ever tell me any of this before now?
Why do you think you're entitled to every single detail about my private life after the way you've treated me?
No. This isn't fair. I'm better than you. I'm not supposed to lose to you. Please. You need to pay off all my debt for me. I know you have the money for it now.
Emily, that's just not going to happen. But good luck with everything. See ya. After that, Emily ended up with a ton of debt thanks to all of her legal fees. Had no choice but to take whatever jobs were immediately available to her to begin paying them down. Since she had a criminal record after my lawsuit against her, however, the only places that would hire her were factories with lots of manual labor. Hearing that she had been fired, my sister decided to begin producing jewelry for the store Emily had previously worked at, much to the relief of the employees under my mom. As for me, I went back to working as normal, investing money and earning a living that way. It's true that I don't meet many people through my work, but I also have more than enough leeway to take a break and spend time with my family if I want. I feel so lucky to have such a tight-knit unit that will always stand up for each other when there's trouble. I may have chosen a different path than the rest of my family, but it hasn't stopped us from being a family one bit. And finally, as for Emily, I only hope that if she ever managed to claw her way out of all that debt, that she'll learn not to judge people based on their appearance.
Chelsea, I heard from the rest of the family that you got married. I knew you had someone you'd been dating for a while now, but if you plan to get married, you have to tell me. It's amazing to hear that the family is growing larger. Also, there are a lot of things that need to get prepared now. We need to start thinking about the wedding and what kind of decorations you'll want there. I won't try to get in your way when planning it all out, but I'd still like to be around to help you a little. Huh? But I did tell you about getting married. Maybe this is because you always forget about me that you never remembered? Even if I happen to be forgetful at times, I never forget about my own daughter getting married. Anyway, if you're going to have a wedding, can you please tell me the date you'd like to have it on? I want to meet his parents, and I want to be around to help with the wedding. Actually, I haven't even met him yet, so it'd be nice if you could set up a day for the three of us to go out and chat. Don't tell me you plan to be around me for this, right? Huh? You already know that I'll be there. No parent would ever want to stay away from their kid while they're having a wedding. Why would you say something like that? Listen to yourself. Huh? Wait a second, Chelsea. Is there something going on between us that I should be worried about? I know I can be a bit too much for you at times, but we haven't talked that much recently, so there shouldn't be anything about me that's upsetting you. Chelsea, can you please reply to me? Chelsea? Chelsea, I'm asking you to please respond to me. This is all really important for us, right? I only just learned that you have a man now, and I'd like a bit more information on what'll happen from here. Shut up already! You're always being so rude to me. I stopped talking because you crossed the line with me again, and I don't have any more patience for you. I'd like it if you just read the atmosphere already. For the time being, I think the day of the wedding is bound to change. So when we have a certain date, I'll let you know. Well, I guess that's okay, but... and as far as you meeting with the parents before the wedding, they don't seem to want to. So you will not be meeting his parents and family before the wedding. They already told me things are tough as it is with their lives, and that they'll see you someday. And you're telling me that they don't want to meet with me before the wedding? But that's like one of the most important things that needs to happen before your big day. Don't you want to know how I'll get along with them? That's all right. My husband is a pretty busy man after all. There's no time to waste watching you make a fool out of me in front of them. Make a fool out of you? Wait. He's so busy that he can't even let me come and meet him or his family? What kind of man is he? I want to at least know who he is, Chelsea. He's going to be family in the end, so I want to know about him so things don't stay distant. You really want to know about him, huh? He's the son of a very powerful family that has a very famous company. He's one of the elite. He's got a lot of money, so does everyone else. They all live in a huge mansion deep in the woods, and the only way you can actually go into their estate is if you know them personally. Well, that's great to hear. He's 1 in a million then. I'm so proud that you finally found someone and he ended up being that outstanding. That's exactly right. And I'll become part of a family of very distinguished people. I'll be in a world far different than the one my moneyless mom lives in. So don't be trying to contact me too much, okay? Huh? You have heard of the company Marina Group, right, Mom? Well, my husband is going to be the CEO of that company. Dad is the CEO there now, but one day when he steps down, he'll give the position to his son, and then I'll be right next to him. So there's no way I want him knowing about my janitor mom whatsoever. Marina Group is the company that specializes in all sorts of businesses, right? Things like technology and medicine? I see. A son of the Marina Group. But if he happens to be affiliated closely with the Marina Group, then he should be just fine meeting someone like me. I already know plenty of people there now, so we could get along really well. And at this point, he's already been married, so he shouldn't mind seeing his mother-in-law. Ask him if he can make a little time to come out and see me. Huh? Why would you know about anything to do with him when you're a simple janitor? Well, the reason for that is that I'm a janitor working for the Marina Group within their main headquarters. Huh? They have a lot of guests that come to the building, and so they've made sure to keep a large group of us there to keep the place very clean. I may be based at the headquarters, but every so often I'll also be asked to go to some of the other regional offices. And since I have been cleaning the meeting rooms a lot of the time, I meet all sorts of execs from all over the world that come to do business. Stop bullcrapping me. Huh? What are you talking about? I never heard a thing about you working there. Hurry up and quit that job now, you old hag. Unless you're lying to me, of course. Wait, Chelsea? What the hell has gotten into you? Just quit that dang job. He'll learn that you're a janitor if you continue to work there. That would be too embarrassing for me to even keep on living. So just tell them that you're leaving and find a new job. Maybe one that's a little bit less dirty and smelly. I've been in the company for a while now, so leaving like this would be too much of a problem for them. I don't want to do that, especially after all this company has given to you and me. I don't care. I just want you to quit. That job has given nothing to you, and it most certainly has not given anything beside a bad image to me. Now quit! If you don't, I'll cut ties with you forever, and you'll never get to see how your daughter turns out. Calm down, Chelsea. I assure you that if you just listen to me and let me talk to your man and his family, everything will be just fine. Chelsea?
Mom, we've chosen a day for the wedding. I'll tell you the date in a little bit, but first, can you hand me my money for the wedding?
So you've decided on a date, huh? But I feel as though I should be giving you something more meaningful than just money, don't you think?
My friends said they'd be giving me presents, so it's fine. I just want you to bring me my money. And if not, I'll ask it for the moment you come to my wedding.
All right, then.
And one other thing. When are you going to quit your job for me? If your daughter is about to have a wedding with an elite man, then it's only right that you, as my mom, quit that dirty job. I can't believe you right now. If you quit that job, I promise to give you a little money once we're married, and you can live off of that until you find a better job.
But I have a life of my own to live, and this job is how I keep my life going. I plan to at least ask my boss if it would be okay for me to work in another office for the time being instead of the headquarters. That way your husband will never even know I work in the company and you won't have to be worried.
Huh? You are useless!
Chelsea.
And you've been that way forever. Ever since Dad died and you said you had to work for the two of us, you left me at home all by myself. Even though you also said you had to be there to be the one to raise me, you never were around to. I don't get it, Mom. How can you be so frickin' useless?
That's not true. I was there with you all the time to make sure that you grew up into a happy and loved woman. I just needed to work a lot so that we had money. So that you had money for when I sent you off to university.
Shut up! Don't try and fool me. You always came to my graduations or ceremonies in your dirty clothing, and it was a disgrace to our family. And since I plan to cut ties with you after the wedding, I thought the last thing you could attempt to do for me is hand me my money. But you're still trying to ruin things for me by working that job, and it's enough.
Don't say something so heartless as cutting ties with me, Chelsea. I'm sure there are times I left you feeling lonely, and you remember those moments very well. But I wanted to make sure you were still loved and raised well, and that's why I worked so hard for you. I love you, Chelsea.
Why have you showed up to my wedding without telling me? Don't mess around anymore. Do you really want to make me feel embarrassed today? You are absolutely useless, Mom. I told you to read the dang atmosphere, Mom.
Chelsea, why? Why have you been doing this to me?
Huh? Doing what to you?
Don't play stupid with me. I was thinking as a way of showing my love and support for you, I'd come and see the family and the man that you'd be marrying into, and the moment I came into that room, you punched me in the face. Then you called me a thief of your wedding. You hit me in the face with something in that room. And then to finish me off, you called one of the security guards in to carry me out of the wedding.
You're making things seem like they happened worse than they really did. Are you sure you're not just imagining things now? If you think things like that are bad for you, then maybe you should go see a doctor for yourself.
If that was all an illusion, then it was all very real. But I know right now that my face is covered in cuts and bruises and is swelling really badly. So I'm going to have to go to the hospital and have it all cared for.
Well, if you're going, then I don't need to worry about you. Ask them to take a look at your head and make sure there's even a brain in there.
The tests have finally all been done on me, and now I'm waiting on the results. They at least told me that nothing serious is broken. But because my skin is really torn up, they asked that I take things easy for a little while.
I see.
You see? Chelsea, this was all your fault in the first place.
Oh, shut the hell up. It's not like it really even matters at this point. I just wish you would have broken something in your head and then you could have stayed in the hospital forever.
Chelsea, why did you choose to punch me? I even made sure that to not cause you any embarrassment, I wore a really done-up dress. And I didn't even mean to go up to his parents yet to introduce myself. So why are you treating me so poorly? If I caused you that much pain in the past, I will forgive you, but you have to explain to me why you did this.
Well, look, I already told you why, right? My husband is the son of a very famous family and a large company. He himself has a wonderful future ahead of him, and his family is all full of elite people.
They're already all aware that I'm just some plain girl that graduated from a mid-level university, but if they learn that my mom is some dirty janitor, that would be the end of this marriage.
The end of your marriage? I don't think they would do that to you, though.
Well, the elite don't want to be anywhere near the poor, Mom. And I had finally found my way out of being poor and dirty, so don't you dare get in my way now!
So that's the reason you've chosen to hate me. And yet you don't even understand what I do for a living.
Come on. All you are is a stupid janitor, right? In other words, you literally smell of garbage. Do you really think that there are any people that want you in their family? And so, I'm going to tell his family that both my parents are dead and have been for a long time.
Huh?
It's much better to just tell him that you're dead instead of saying something like you're a janitor or something. And yet you decided to come here without telling me. Did you really think I was going to invite a janitor to my wedding? So, for coming uninvited, it was only right of me to hit you in the face.
All you are to me now is a complete stranger, then.
Huh? Oh, well that helps out a lot then.
You're right. I'll no longer be around you anymore, and you'll never have to think of me as your mom again.
I never thought of you as my mom, though. Having to call you Mom all this time was the biggest pain in the butt ever. But now I'll finally never have to worry about that pain again.
Marissa, do you have time at this moment to talk? This is Marina Group's Richard.
Oh, Mr. Richard, thank you so much. I had just finished asking if it would be okay for me to contact you today. But there's a problem, right?
When I heard that there was something private the two of us needed to talk about, I knew what was coming. I'm so sorry for what has happened.
Oh, I don't mind at the moment. I'm assuming that with the privacy that this conversation has, you may have some questions about the whole matter?
Well, yes. To start, I would like to tell you that was my son's wedding yesterday.
I had assumed that was so. Congratulations.
Thank you, but I was made aware that in one of the tables showing family members, your photo was there, which is odd considering that the bride stated that both her parents were dead during her speech. I didn't want to think that this could be true, but are you Kelsey's mother?
Yes, that's right. And my daughter told me that she didn't want a janitor mother at her wedding. I didn't even go into the main hall where the actual wedding would be held, yet she punched me in the face anyway.
She punched you?
Yes, and thankfully, due to me having to clean around your office, you were able to see the condition my face is in.
She hit you that badly, though? If it really is bothering you to be at work with those injuries, you are more than welcome to take some time off.
Thank you for being so considerate. But I have some things that are going on that are making it hard for me to take any time off. And taking time off may cause some trouble for you, Mr. Richard. But be aware that I'm going to sue Chelsea.
What? Wait. Are you being serious? She's your daughter though, right?
And that's the reason why I have to sue her. Now that she has her wonderful husband to look after her, she's forgotten about everything I sacrificed to raise her when she was younger. But in my eyes, I've always been so proud that she was able to find herself a man.
Everyone knows that you've taken such good care of Kelsey. Even when you were so busy with supporting her through your work, you were able to get to her school events.
And that was because I had people here to help make that happen. But perhaps that didn't make me a good enough mother for her. Chelsea used to be such a kind little girl to me. There were times she'd even hand-bake me cakes for my birthday to celebrate. Yet, now she's at the point where she thinks it's okay to punch her own mother. I must have messed up somewhere along the way that turned her into this monster.
And as for myself, seeing that she had become such a good wife for my son, I can't believe she would do such a thing. When I had first met her after she started dating my son, she always told me that she wanted to be my daughter, and that's what made me fall for her.
Chelsea, she's really changed now, though. And because of what's happened to her, I cannot let her get away with it. It's because she used to be my sweet little girl, that seeing her now as someone who's okay with violence has made me so upset. I cannot let her get away with that, Mr. Richard.
Marissa.
And on top of that, she now wishes for me to just disappear from her life. And so if she wants to think of me as nothing but a complete stranger, I'll do the same and forget that she was ever my daughter.
I never wanted to have to think of her as someone beside my own blood, but because she's gone so far to show that she doesn't want me around anymore, I'll do as she wishes. Now Chelsea is nothing more than a complete stranger to me. Perhaps I should say she turned out just like me. After all, I was an awful mother to her.
I don't believe that you were. You gave your all to be the mother that she not only wanted, but needed, and that took a lot of sacrifice out of you. And so in this instant, what she had done to you was not something that can be forgiven. For the time being, I want you to rest and let your wounds heal. And so that you can have time off of work, I'll have someone in to cover for you, okay?
Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Richard.
Just call me Richard, Marissa.
Thank you, Richard.
Hey, you hag! What the hell is this? What does it mean I'm being sued? It says there was a victim's report sent in by you?
Well, what you're looking at is just that.
Don't mess with me, you! Just because you're upset with me doesn't mean you can try and fight me now.
Well, I'd like to know who this is. I don't happen to be friends with anyone who's willing to call me a hag like you have, so who are you?
Huh? What's with that? You're being too distant.
You and I are complete strangers, so I don't happen to know much about you. Hence, me acting distant. And within that victim's report that you have with you, there's a breakdown off all the healthcare that I needed to receive for my injuries. And because there were cameras all over the reception hall for your wedding, I have plenty of evidence.
Having to listen to a janitor tell me they're the victim of anything is gross. Hurry up and get rid of this crap.
I will not be doing that.
Well, if you like, I can pay you out of court. Unlike you, you useless hag, I happen to be quite the generous person. I have lots in savings, and so I don't mind handing you a little money to shut you up. So, tell me what you like.
You must have a lot of money then.
I'm a celebrity now, so my money is endless. And unlike me, your life cleaning up garbage must be painful every single day. You have no money to play with like me.
But unfortunately, I believe that your money isn't going to last much longer.
You are such a sore loser, and it's making me sad. Have you not realized what's happened to you yet? You witch! You started telling my husband all sorts of weird crap now. You're a freak. I'm going to sue you now.
If you want to try suing me, go right ahead. I just happened to tell your husband the whole truth surrounding us. I let him know that his wife is totally fine with punching her own family.
And that's what makes you a freak. You're trying to ruin my image. I am not some kind of monster that just likes to punch whoever I see.
But you punched me without any restraint, right?
And that's because you messed up by coming to my wedding without even being invited. You're a low-life janitor, and you came to that wedding to try and take the spotlight away from me, right? And so me punching you was to protect myself. I never just go around punching my family or anyone else.
But it turns out that your husband trusts me over you.
Huh?
Your husband really is a kind man, isn't he? When he heard that I was his mother-in-law, he was so happy and spoke to me like he was family. He even called me Mom, and that just warmed my heart. And when I saw his smile, I just didn't know how I could have ended up with such a caring son-in-law.
Well, you and I are just strangers now, so he's not your son-in-law.
That's right. But in only a little longer, you and him will also be nothing but strangers.
What are you talking about? That man loves the hell out of me. There's no way we'll ever get divorced from each other.
That's what you'd like to think, right? But when he sees the evidence of you punching me, like those recorded videos, and when he sees how you've always texted me, he might just lose all his love for you.
You're going to show him? Our conversations are supposed to be between you and I.
Oh, I've already told him, Chelsea. And all of this is evidence to you assaulting me. And just as I've told your husband, I've told the police about everything, and soon you'll be taken into their custody. I told him that he's totally fine to continue the process of divorcing you while all that happens. Your husband may be the kind of man to be generous and loving to everyone, but he can only spread that love so far when there's someone who has turned themselves into a monster. He doesn't even care that I'm a janitor. He's worried about the fact that he's married to a woman that chooses violence over anything else.
In this day and age, evidence can be faked. And you know that when choosing to trust his wife over some random old lady, he'd choose to trust me. And now I'm going to go around telling everyone that a crazy old hag has been making things up about me and that it's ruining my reputation.
And that will only work if people choose to believe you.
This is all your fault. It's your fault that he wants to divorce me now. You're a frickin' plague.
I can see that you're in a lot of trouble now, but what happened to the confidence you had before?
Shut the hell up, you hag. It's because of all the needless crap you brought up that my husband went and started looking deeper into me.
Right. He was able to see that in college you and other men would always get into problematic relationships with each other, huh? I heard all about it from your husband. He said that you always chose to be violent with other people back then. Which is crazy because I never even knew that you'd been beating up people back then when you were away at college.
But in those instances, I would give them some hush money and things would end there. So don't use all of that to ruin my image now.
The fact that I never once noticed that you've been causing all that trouble then really goes to show how bad of a mother I was. But now knowing that he's willing to divorce you over all of that, I'm happy.
Shut the actual frick up, you whore. You tried to take away my happiness. You're the worst of the worst. Are you not saddened by all the pain you've caused your daughter?
Of course, I had always wanted my daughter to be happy, but I never had a daughter that wanted her mother to be happy. And don't worry, because I'm not your mom anymore, just like you've been asking.
Dad, help me please. My mom has a grudge against me now and is making up lies. Can you please tell your son to not divorce me at least? You told me ever since I became your daughter you've been so happy, right?
I'm sorry, Kelsey, but I already know everything.
And everything that you know is that woman's delusion.
Her delusion? But I had seen the face of your mother after you had punched her in the eye. Do you really think that I could see that as a lie for the type of person that you really are?
Huh? Why did you see my mom when she's only a janitor?
Of course, it's surprising to think that a CEO would be aware of all his janitors like I am. But Kelsey, your mom and I, her and I go way back, Kelsey.
Her and you?
Yes, your deceased father was my close friend, and I think I remember once seeing you at the funeral for him, although you were a lot younger then, and you were crying the whole time, so I never really had a chance to confirm who you were.
I remember the funeral. And I remember a man standing right in front of his grave after he was buried that cried and cried all day. Was that person you?
He was me. And that's why your mother and I have been close ever since. But she never once thought of getting married again, instead sacrificing everything of hers to make sure that she could raise you right. And since I was so close to her husband, I made it my goal to support her as she raised you, even to the length of giving her the job that she has now. And that job is the one that you keep on making fun of her for.
But isn't being a janitor one of the dirtiest and lowest jobs out there? I bet the only reason you gave her that job is because she was too stupid to do anything else, right?
Do not make such claims about your mother or I. And although you can't seem to understand it, I can see that your mother is one of the most important people around.
Huh? There's just no way.
Are you sure? If you'd like to come and give being a janitor a try for this company, we'll see how hard she works to keep everything going smoothly here. She's amazing with all of our cleaning techniques, and at the moment, because of those reasons, she's the manager of the Marina Group's janitors.
Huh? That woman is the manager?
Yeah. She's always been making sure that my headquarters is looking perfect. And so now I have her managing all the other janitors and making sure any new hires are trained properly. She's even willing to do tasks outside of her job requirements, and everyone here respects her for that. Not only as her CEO, but as the man who's known her for so long, I think that she is one of the most amazing women to have ever entered my company.
That can't be.
You made it clear that you hated her for her career, and that you never wanted her to be your mom because you couldn't see all the work that she put in for you. In other words, you've been making fun of and hurting the woman that I promised your dad I'd keep safe and support. I cannot let my son stay married to anyone like you, and so this is the end for you.
You're wrong. I never knew that my mom was doing that amazing at her job.
Even after all you've done to us, you still want to try and make excuses? I don't want you anywhere near my son or your mother. If you do ever come near them, I'll have the police called and you taken to jail.
Wait, Dad, please listen to what I have to say about this. Mom, help me! Right now, I'm in court for the divorce, and it looks like all those other men from the past want to sue me now. And because of the victims report you handed in, my life is going to be pretty much over.
And that's what you had been wishing for. I never planned on taking that report down. And now I'm going to make sure that you pay me a settlement as well as pay for all my medical bills, so prepare yourself.
But I don't have that kind of money on me. Please forgive me for whatever I did.
I will not. I have a responsibility to make sure that the daughter I raised is properly punished for the way she's acted. And now that you've gone and told me I'm not your mother anymore, I will not go easy on you. Now I want no more messages coming from you anymore. You are just a stranger now, so acting this way is extremely rude to me.
Wait! Hey, please come help me. I'll do anything for you. Somebody come and save me.
After that, Chelsea was told that she would have to pay a settlement to quite a few people, but on top of that, she would also have to be on parole for a year. She was not happy about hearing that from the judge and tried really hard to run from them, but she soon realized that the police were all around her. That didn't stop her though, and in an attempt to get around them, she punched one of the police in the face, only to be tackled by 3 more and dragged out of the courtroom. For 6 months after that, she had to serve time for assaulting an officer, but was released early and placed on 2 years of parole. However, getting out of jail was not easy on her, and she still has to pay off all the settlements, which she chose to borrow a lot of money in order to do so. But even without the stress of the settlements themselves looming over her, she now needed to pay off the money that she borrowed. So now she's working day and night at a couple of different places, trying her best to make all she can. But because of the way she treats everyone and acts within the building she's been working in, she's been demoted to being the janitor in all of them. She has now learned that there's no good side or bad side to being a janitor, and that it's all up to the person in said position to make a good or bad name for themselves. I know that she has to work long days making whatever money she can, but I hope, as my last wish for her as her mother, that she will one day find a way out of having to work so much and can go back to a normal life where she has time to breathe. As for myself, I can see that even with all I gave trying to raise her right, she still turned out far worse than I could have ever imagined. But as a lot of my friends around me have said, I cannot blame myself for raising someone that was never willing to respect me in the first place.